All right. I guess it's time for me to, bite the bullet and talk about this one. Okay. So, Scream 7. Now, what I will say off the bat is if I haven't said what my personal thoughts are on this whole situation, because the problem with this is that you can't talk about this without talking about all the bullshit that was going on between the last movie and this one. And what I'm talking about is the director, Christopher Landon, walking off because of death threats. Melissa Briera, I believe, getting fired from, I think it was Spyglass, not Paramount, but, an incendiary of them. Jenna Ortega walking off, just all the bullshit that was going on between 6 and 7. And if you don't know, if you haven't seen my Scream series review where I talked about 1 through 6, I actually liked what they were doing with 5 and 6. I actually did enjoy it. I'm going to throw that out there right now. Now, what I personally think about the decisions that they were making is, personally, I think it's all bullshit. But I'm going to move on from that. So, Scream 7, it takes place a little bit after the events of 6, where the Carpenter sisters, or Melissa and Jenna, they're out. They're gone. And we're now back in Woodsboro. We're now back. And Neve Campbell returns as Sidney Prescott. And it turns out that she now has a teenage kid who wants to know the past and all that stuff. And she's like, no, I'm trying to bury that. And then she becomes kind of almost like rebellious and blah, blah, blah. And then there's another ghost face out there, and, it goes from there. That's the crux of what's going on. Now, I have been seeing a lot of hate for this one. A lot of hate. And do I agree with most of it? Kinda. Now, taking, all the crap out of the box or out of the toilet, whatever you want to put it, I don't care. This is I've heard this one before, and I think they're actually right on the money. This is a okay slasher film, but it is a bad Scream movie. And I agree with that. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Now, to start off with, the good, with the positive. Neve Campbell tries. She tries, okay? Now, her not coming back for 6, whether that pissed you off or you were just kind of okay with it, that's a whole nother conversation. But here she comes back and she kind of tries. But unfortunately, you can tell this was kind of rushed. I mean, they spent, I think it was like $5 million to bring her back, and they spent, I think, $500,000 to rewrite it. And you can tell, even if you didn't know all the stuff that was going on with the series and what was going on, you can tell this stuff was like rewritten. It feels almost half-assed at times. It almost feels like they're like, hey, let's have this idea and just run with it. And that's kind of what they do here. Now, that's kind of the good out of the way, is that Neve Campbell tries. She tries. And also, Courteney Cox tries as well. The two of them are veterans of the series, as you know. And so they try. Now, let's get to the negatives. Oh, boy. It's writing. Now, it's writing, despite it, you can clearly tell, watching the movie, that it has been rewritten to hell. And they were trying to make almost like the best of a bad situation. But Jesus Christ, a lot of the writing in here, some of it was, I felt, reused from the Blumhouse's Halloween trilogy. especially the whole subplot of, Prescott's daughter, that whole thing where it's like, the new generation of, this Scream killer. And it's like, no, I'm not going that route. I'm just not. They started like in the Halloween ones. They started out kind of cool and okay. And then they just plummeted from there. But here it was just kind of dead on arrival. It was like, come on, really? What the hell are you doing? It was a bit predictable. Its characters were just kind of meh. I didn't care. They bring back, I forget their names, but the other two, survivors of like 5 and 6 that were with, the Carpenter sisters the whole time. They bring them back and they kind of felt forced in there. It felt like they were like, oh crap, we got to have them in here. How are we going to do that? Let's have them as Courteney Cox's like camera team and like let's do that. And it's like, really? That feels forced. Like if you didn't want to have them in there, fine, don't. But it just felt really forced. Now, it was trying to make the best of a bad situation, but it did not fucking land at all. Now, the big problem is I could forgive its writing because, yeah, they were trying to make the best of a bad situation. It just didn't land. I can forgive that. It's still bad. I can forgive that if the Ghostface reveal was really cool. Like something like Scream 4, where the reveal, it was like a reveal on top of a reveal. It just kept building and building. And it was like, damn, this is really good. You got me on this one. This one, I don't know what the fuck happened. What the hell was that? I legitimately, like when the reveal happened, my face was in the confusion look for like 5 minutes. Like it's like every other emotion in me just didn't come out. So I was stuck. I was stuck confused for 5 minutes and just staring at the screen just with a confused look. Cause I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'll tell you why, like I had to, change my rating initially, and I'll tell you why later. But Jesus Christ, that fucking reveal was atrocious. So overall, I was worried going into this one because I actually liked 5 and 6 and that certain aspects were going to be gone and all that stuff. That disappointed me. But I went into this going, you know what? I've seen some of this happen where, this person left or this person didn't come back or something like that. And they're able to kind of redeem themselves in some way. This one, it feels uninspired and rushed. It starts out okay. Like the opening is kind of cool, but then it just goes down. It becomes a downward spiral from there. New characters that aren't interesting. The kills are okay. It feels a little more tame by previous entries. Yeah, personally to me. And especially its writing is just so fucking weak. And, I was going to give this movie a fine, but then that fucking Ghostface reveal dropped it down. And I'm sorry, but this is terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I was sitting on it for a little bit because I was going, like, that wasn't good, but there's this part that was okay, and oh my fucking God. And it just, everything just started coming back to me all at once. So, yeah, I think unless they fix the wounds, I think maybe it's time for Ghostface to hang up the mask. Honestly. But, fuck me, because apparently they're doing 8. They already greenlit it. And so what I think they should do is there is a 1 and maybe a billion chance that this will happen. But I think what they should do is do this. Clear up all the bullshit that they did with Melissa. Bring back Jenna. get them all into one place, like all different generations and stuff like that, and finally finish this. Because, you know, I think 8 should be the finale. Because what I think they were going to do was 7 was originally going to be the finale. But then all the bullshit happened. So I think on how to redeem it, especially from this one, is bring everybody back, clear up all the bullshit, you know, admit the faults, studios, and, you know, and finish this, and finish it right, and finish it great, you know, but have characters get killed off, like major characters get killed off, because it is the end. Like, this should be the end, where it's like, okay, this is it, we're all done. But, like I said, 1 in a fucking billion chance that will happen. So, we'll see what they do with 8.